Hey Chris, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Yeah. Um, so to the audience, me and Chris and I went to middle school together at Jeep Charter Academy. We didn't go to the same high school or college, but reconnected the last few months. We actually attended a No Kings protest to protest Trump's authoritarianism a few months ago. We reconnected, and now I have Chris on the podcast, and we've, become like pretty good friends the last few months. So, Chris, can you
Yeah.
introduce yourself to the audience? Please tell a little bit of background about yourself.
Yeah. I'm Christopher English. I was born and raised in Kenton, Michigan area, out in the Wayne County area. I
Yep.
ended up going to an HBCU. I went to Norfolk State University down in Norfolk, Virginia. I
Mhm,
graduated from there with a marketing degree there.
mhm.
So I've seen a lot of different things as far as just um, understanding the difference of attending an HBCU versus a PWI, and also understanding and seeing what's kind of different with like race relations and things that go on behind the scenes as far as like the political views of certain things as well.
Right,
Why certain things are put into perspectives that some people can't really understand.
right. For sure, for sure. Yeah, so let's get right into it. So, like, what are your thoughts on Trump so far? So the first thing I wanted to ask you about was the redistricting. So, as you probably know, the Texas House approved a mid-decade redistricting plan proposing to add up to five Republican leaning congressional seats,
Mhm.
shifting potential delegation from 25 Republicans and 12 Democrats to 30 Republicans and seven Democrats. And
Yeah.
the vote passed by the Texas House, which is majority Republican. Now it's moving to the Texas Senate. So, what do you think the effect of this is on like authoritarian? Like, do you think this is an example of Trump's authoritarianism?
Yeah, I think that it's honestly it's rigging of the 2026 midterms that are to come.
Uh-huh.
Redistricting is literally taking out Democratic
Yeah.
um, districts that will still matter in Texas. But that's why you have people like um, Newsom in California kind of
Mhm.
talking about pushing to redistrict California,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's things that we can do to prevent these things. But with Donald Trump, I'm not sold on the whole um this is his thoughts of what he's doing. I think
Mhm.
that he's just kind of the puppet of the master hand behind all of what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, Trying to set up the authoritarianism is not just going to be ran under him, but it's going to go. It could go family of him. It can go to certain specific people who are Republicans. Who knows what Donald Trump will do in 2028? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Yeah.
just with this whole system of even just being able to rig the midterms is scary because that just kind of is like, what are you going to do for the presidential election in 2 years?
Yeah, exactly, man. I completely agree. This authoritarianism is bad, but one good thing I don't know if you saw, Gavin Newsom, he in California, the state legislature passed his own you know, his own proposal to redistrict the California maps in response to Texas. So kind of
Yeah.
like fighting fire with fire. And now it's going to go to the vote in November. So the
Yep.
voters can vote yes or no. I think that's really good, man. I think what Gavin Newsom's doing, like a lot of Democrats, they're like Trump is bad, but they're not doing anything. So Gavin Newsom has really like taken action, right, to help.
Well, there's a lot of things that you can really discuss when it comes to like Trump is bad, but they're not doing anything. I mean, we don't have control of certain, don't have control of the House, don't have control of the Senate.
True, true.
These are two spots where it's kind of like everyone's just kissing up to Trump. So it's kind of
Right.
like 4 years ago when he was president, or 5 years, almost actually 6, 7 years ago when he was president, you saw a different um term for him. You saw the term of him trying to push out to do what he wanted to do to show
Mhm.
that can abuse his power. Him
Mhm.
getting, whatever we want to call it, him getting reelected, it was rigged for him to win, whatever. Him being here now is just showing what he's going to push to do.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like we got to stop calling it as Trump is bad and we can't do anything. It's like it's a real just threat to democracy. It's not much that we can do. Um,
Right.
even as people protesting, this is a very dangerous time for people's freedom of speech, especially
Yeah.
for people who believe in freedom of speech. They're blackballing a lot of people out, and it's scary.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100% agree with that. Um, yeah. Another thing that Trump did was he brought the National Guard into LA. So, what are your thoughts on that? A few months ago, I think. Yeah.
Um, the National Guard in LA was just another show of Donald Trump abusing his power. I mean,
Mhm.
coming from what he was trying to do, he didn't really do anything. He just kind of just pushed something out of him. He pushed he pushed people to a limit pretty much by just pushing the National Guard out in LA. He didn't need to do that because it was being handled. These were peaceful protests, but there was, of course, what I don't like is you can have peaceful protests, but then you always have certain people who are a portion of what's going on, but
Right.
they're not the peaceful people. That doesn't represent the entire protest. That
Yeah.
just represents that there are bad people in a group. There shouldn't
Right.
be an attack on those people, you know, when working with those people. So,
Exactly. No, that's very well said, Chris. Very well
yeah.
said. Also, like the tariffs. So, yeah, I feel like they've raised the costs here in the U.S. Uh, so, what are your thoughts on Trump's tariffs?
I would just say that if we're just going from an economic view, we understand that Trump's tariffs are just not going to benefit anybody.
Hmm.
We understand that he's lying about how much we've made off of tariffs because tariffs are paid by the American consumer.
Yeah, yeah,
So we understand that that's a lie. We understand that Donald Trump is just kind of pushing his viewpoint to try to spin it like he's making money for America when he's making money for other countries and making money. He's grifting. Pretty much, he's grifting.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
It's a full-flown grift. Um, I don't know. He thinks that he can change economics. He thinks that he's, a great businessman, which he's a failed businessman. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like we're living in a time, man, where we just have to accept what's going on, but be smart about what's going on. Create our
Mhm.
boundaries, create understanding what we can and can't do in this type of authoritarian government that we're seeing, truthfully.
Right. Yeah, true, true, true. I will say one good thing about Trump's tariffs is not even the economic viewpoint. It's the fact that there are countries like Cambodia and Thailand and Armenia, Azerbaijan that were like at war. So Trump used tariffs as like a pressure tactic to get them to agree to a ceasefire. He told them, if you guys keep fighting your wars, I'm going to put massive tariffs on your countries. So it encouraged these countries to do a ceasefire with this threat of massive tariffs. So he used sometimes tariffs are good as like a political tool to pressure countries to in peace in uh, peaceful measures instead of going to war.
Right. No, I think that when you're looking at it from a war tactic, it's
Yeah,
an understanding.
yeah,
But when you're looking at it from, are you trying to do, you know, good business with certain countries
right.
where you're already understanding that you're going to increase inflation by adding these tariffs? I don't think this is a good idea. I think that it's a pressure to add to American consumers with
Yeah,
American consumers who are already struggling to meet days in. We have more homeless people by the day.
right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I think overall, I agree with you. It's more negative than positive. I was just pointing out a few.
yeah, there are some benefits. You like there's benefits to everything.
Right, right,
You
right,
know, it's just the way that I feel like the moral of the story with Donald Trump is it's the way he goes about things.
right, right, right.
Everyone is not going to be a perfect person. But I think that Donald Trump would be more accepting if one he was um willing to listen, willing
Right.
to to understand and have a heart of humanity versus think for himself. Um, but one thing that I can't like deny about Trump is he kind of just uses his entire will to kind of just portray who he is. You know, we know what he is. He's a liar. We know that he's racist. So we know that he's narcissistic. All these things are things that he's just demonstrated over characters with his characteristics over decades of time that people have just seen over and over again. So it's nothing
Yeah.
we can deny about him.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think with regards to tariffs, I think Biden did a much better job with tariffs because he didn't go crazy with like the tariff percentages. I think he did like you have to be careful. You have to like use a lot of you have to like approach it with a lot of caution, right? When you go with tariffs. And Biden did a very good job with that. I think that he put some tariffs on to protect like the American consumer, but not too much. So
yeah,
to like drive up the costs for everyday Americans, right? So I think you have to be careful. You can't just be putting these insane percentages like Trump is doing,
yeah. So when you look at what like Biden was doing, and he was putting tariffs on like steel and different things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but when you have someone who wants to put tariffs on the entire American goods or an entire Chinese goods that come in, or
Mhm.
putting more on electronics that are increasing the value that we have to pay for our electronics here, you, he's causing issues. It's
Mhm.
causing problems. So it's causing economic shake within corporations to actually have to have a backfire of what they have to do to prepare for what's going on. You see it
Exactly.
in businesses everywhere. You see it in the automotive business. You see it in the electronics business. You see it in factories business when like logistics and things like that. It's gonna have issues.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, so Chris, would you say that you're a progressive, more of a progressive Democrat or like a moderate Democrat? Why and why?
um I don't really consider myself like I don't consider myself like a party. I consider myself with more humanity, like
Right.
supporting more like humanitarian terms, I would say.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not all gonna say I'm the fullest progressive Democrat, but I would say moderate Democrat with some conservative views of understanding. But I would say overall, I just kind of go with who's doing the best for humanity, who has the
Right.
actual uh, heart to do the right thing.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah,
that's a great answer. Yeah. Politics should not just be about like power, it should be about who's doing the best for the people, right? So
yeah,
yeah, I that's a good answer.
yeah.
So the next question I have for you, Chris, is what do you think it means that Barack Obama got elected as president in 2008, like for the state of America in terms of race relations?
In terms of race relations,
Yes.
um, I don't think it did anything in terms of race relations. I think that it just showed that we can do something that's impactful.
Mhm.
Um, like anybody has the ability to do something that's impactful, and that's never been done before. That's what history is. So I don't look at it as it did something for race relations, because there's things that occurred when President Obama was president. It's just you don't try to look at race relations when you're looking at things like that. I feel like you just kind of look more as to how people treated
Mhm.
him. And Obama was under a microscope. Let's just
Right. Yeah.
keep it real.
Yeah.
Anything he did is going to be criticized or scrutinized.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a lot of things that you're going to see when it comes to any other race running for a as a top candidate for something. You can look at it now with the guy who's running for the mayor of New York,
New York City, Zoran
him
Mel-
going through a
Yeah.
lot of issues, and it's kind of like people are not trying to get past the race thing. They're trying to get past oh, okay, like these are his policies. He can't understand what he's trying to do for the city. Some problems with that. I mean, Obama literally had Donald Trump saying that he was from Kenya. He was
Right,
born
right.
in Hawaii. It's a whole bunch of things that you'll face with that. So you're gonna
Yeah,
have to deal with that forever.
right. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but comes with the territory, I guess. Um, so do you think Barack Obama being the first black president, it really like broke like the glass ceilings and stuff, and that encouraged a lot more black people to enter politics and then like win their races?
I mean, of course, I feel like it encouraged more black people to, enter politics and be a part of it. I
Mhm.
just think overall that like it pushed a new norm. Like, hey,
Mhm.
this can't happen.
Right.
Even with Kamala Harris, you have her being the first woman vice president and black woman vice president. Um, it's kind of like you see new heights every day. You want to just keep going to new levels. So of course, it encouraged a lot of black people to go out and say, "Hey, this is something that we can do. It's been done." You know,
Yeah.
um, it's great, and it can be done by any race. It can be done by anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure. For sure. Um, so yeah. So now the next question I
Uh
have.
oh, I lost. I hear a click now.
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Okay, now I hear you.
Okay. So going off of that, how far has America come in terms of race relations after slavery, and how far do we still have to go?
After slavery,
Yeah, after the end of slavery. Yeah.
I think that race relations. Um, I mean, it's kind of hard to say after slavery because it's like you had slavery, then you had the civil rights movement.
Right.
Race relations have like kind of remained the same. It's
Mhm.
kind of just based on like where you grow up at. Race
Right.
relations has always been based on where you grow up at. If you grow up in a more diverse community, you understand different cultures. You understand and are aware of different cultures. You're more self-aware of who's around you and what's around you. Um, you're more good judgment of character
Mhm.
versus just judging people by what they look like or their skin color. So I feel like race relations is just, like I said, just about where you grow up at, who you grow up around.
Right.
Nothing to do with, I like this color or this color. I mean, back then it was because it was more, we were trying to keep people in shells. But, you know, if I grew up all around all black people, um, stepping into a world with um different and more diverse community, I would be a little different
Right.
than, someone who grew up when I'm with this crowd, I can be with this crowd, I can be with this crowd. So I think that's something that I was blessed to grow up with and be in a diverse community to really understand different cultures and other people, versus just being in one set of stone to understand and be around that background to kind of figure out who I am. So,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah. All right. So the next question I have, Chris, is what are your thoughts on, George Floyd and the widespread Black Lives Matter movements after George Floyd was killed? And then I'll ask a follow-up after that. But that's my first question.
Yeah. I just think that the entire George Floyd situation was unfortunate. I think that the Black Lives Matter movement was a good cause.
Mhm.
I think that was a good cause for what it represents. I think that people take it the wrong way of what it represents. It's not saying that, all lives don't matter. It's just saying that what the disproportionate of how many people that look like me are incarcerated or have been uh, unalived by a police officer
Right.
um, is at a higher rate. We see those things. And one thing that's really interesting about the whole George Floyd situation is People don't look at things for what they're doing because I can't call something I feel like I can't call something good or evil because more people don't understand morality in the world because they're more trying to have power.
Mhm.
Uh, and what I mean by that is your morality will let you have a nerve that somewhat kicks into your brain to function and say, hey, you know what? No matter who I am, I can't take another man's life. I
Mhm.
can't, I'm not going to harm someone to know that I have power over them.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do anything out of my dignity to show that I have power over someone. Those
Right.
people are really built that way, characteristic ways who don't think with that switch. I to
That's
me
right.
to me that's a mental health issue personally. But
Right. Right.
a person who doesn't understand that they should be able to stop and have self-control in wrong situations when they know they're in the wrong. I
Right.
don't think that they have capability to function around other people. I think that they have certain things and characteristics that have just not have been called out but never been treated. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
No,
know,
100%. Yeah.
that's what happened with the whole Derek Chauvin and George
Mhm.
Floyd situation.
Yeah.
We saw
Yeah.
someone who just wanted to show that he had power.
Exactly. Yeah. Huge power trip. So let me ask you this, Chris. Do you think Derek Chauvin would have been less vicious if George Floyd was not black? Why or why not?
Uh, I can't, I don't, I can't answer that because it's more of like that's a speculation.
What do you think, personally?
I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm not gonna say he is or he's not.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, but just to even just show you who he is. I mean, I think he would have done the same things that any other based on what he did, but I think it was a power trip because he was an African American.
100%. Yeah. I think I completely agree with that
You
answer.
know, I think that he would have did what he did to any race, but him being an African American was like uh, a power trip for him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I agree with you on that. Um, yeah. And also, you talked about, you mentioned the civil rights movement. So, like, I
Mhm.
just totally thought about this. So people don't, a lot of South Asians don't realize this. The civil rights movement, the Civil Rights Act
Mhm.
of 1964, because it dismantled legal racial discrimination, that
Mhm.
shift in American values and law, that directly paved the way for the Immigration Nationality Act of 1965, also known as the Hart-Celler Act, which opened the doors for large-scale South Asian immigration. So without the civil
Mhm.
rights movement, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, the South Asian diaspora in the U.S. would likely be far smaller and less influential today, right? So the reason that my
Yeah.
parents were able to come, and then I was able to be born here, is because of the work that Black people did in the civil rights movement. So definitely the least we could
Yeah.
do is, as South Asians, like, at least stand up for like Black Lives Matter and like go to protests when necessary. Like stand up for George Floyd back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So like, be grateful that you're here because of the work of a lot of like Black leaders in the civil rights movement.
Yeah, I think that it's everybody as one. Like I said, this is not even a race thing. Um, it is a race. Like it's a race thing, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But but race is man created. This is more of a fight for um what's going on in the world.
Right, right.
The world is becoming more colorful.
Mhm.
Certain people don't like that.
Right, right, right.
That
Uh,
is that
yeah,
that
real quick,
is
your
causing me
video,
issues.
your video is like kind of like sideways. I don't know if
Uh-oh.
you. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
sure why.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, you're good now. You're good now. Yeah.
I'm
No.
good.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. 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 Perfect.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was just saying the world's becoming a little more colorful, so you got to be aware of what's going on and why they're pushing for certain things like so many deportations and having all these immigration problems and issues. Um,
Yeah.
this was a land where people came here to change their lives, and this is what we promoted as a country. That's what we stood on. You understand? So when
Yeah.
we had all these shifts and these changes, and we thought that we're progressing to moving forward, now we got someone who's trying to digress and slow down the progress of other immigrants coming here to become and have a better life, to be
Mhm.
free, to actually have stipulations to where they can be an American citizen.
Right.
Certain people don't like that, certain people don't like that.
Yeah, man. 100%. Yeah. It's
It's
unfortunate.
it's unfortunate, but you know, it's
Yeah.
just certain people, like I said, people don't like the world becoming a little more colorful. I feel like it has nothing to do with like, oh, what was done back in the day or stuff, because it's like stuff is always going to still be done.
Right.
Um, but people need to like understand what's going on and tie into what's going on so they're aware of what's going on. When you're aware of what's going on, then you can feed off of okay, how you uh operate with other people, or how you operate with um like people who are different cultures or different backgrounds. That's what you have to deal with.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the next question for you, Chris, is how do we get collective solidarity between Black people, Indian people, so Black people like yourself, Indian people like myself, and other people of color?
um I would just say, man, it's really just about wanting to do it. It's not even about like getting to do it. It's about wanting to do it. It's about actually just wanting to be diverse in the community and be diverse with your community.
Right.
I was all like I was said, I was always taught to just treat people how, they want to be treated and how they treat you. And, being able to build different relationships with people from different backgrounds has allowed me to be able to actually dive in and be a part of people's families and understand from that base. So I feel like the best thing to do is really just reach out, be able to communicate with people, learn people, and build and go out and talk to them in person, reach out. And that's the best thing about what communication is and what community is, I would
Right.
say.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, dude. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a really good
Yeah.
answer. So my next question, Chris, is should we defund the police? Why or why not?
I'm not for like a whole defunding the police thing. We still need policing. I just think that we understand the background of what policing was built on and how it should be done.
Mhm.
Um, there shouldn't be people with power trips, but you can't do that because people have emotions. So
Yeah.
uh, we just need to be able to have people react
Right.
to
Chris,
situations.
for sure. Chris, can you expand on what you meant by like what it's built on?
Oh yeah, so just policing is just basically built on um, when slave owners basically were eradicated after um, slavery was eradicated.
Mhm.
Basically, they built a policing station pretty much around the country to police people, and that's how you ended up with more African Americans being policed and arrested at higher rates.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
For sure. For sure. Yeah, so I think I agree with you about defunding the police. I don't support defunding the police as there are areas of violent crime throughout the country, but we need to significantly reform the police force to remove the bad apples like Derek Chauvin,
yeah,
for sure. And we have to have serious and significant police reform.
yeah.
Uh,
We definitely have to have that because there's a lot of things that it's a lot of things like that we as a community need to understand that why we need the police.
yeah,
But there's a lot of people that need to understand of why people are fearful of the police. So I think that we needed like an organization of where we can understand each other so that we can also benefit each other.
yeah, 100%, 100%. It's a good answer. So now the next question I have is, Give me your thoughts on various 2028 Democratic presidential nominees. Do you like them or dislike them, and why? Just like briefly. So I'll let you answer first. Then I'll give mine. So the first person is Gavin Newsom.
For the 2028 elections.
Yeah, yeah.
Got you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a little bit about Gavin Newsom as far as policies and what he was wanting. I have to look up and do a lot of more research. I think he gives a good front name. I think that he's doing a great job what he's doing right now. So I would support him if he was running. But also, like I said, depends who else is running.
Right. No, I meant more in the sense that, like, yeah, I think you and I would support any Democrat over
Yeah.
I meant like in like a primary, like what do you think of Gavin Newsom? Like, what do you
think,
like?
yep, I think he would be a good candidate.
Okay.
If we were to choose him for the Democratic, I think he would be a strong candidate.
Yep. I would say this about Gavin Newsom. I think he could be a bit more progressive, but overall he's pretty good. And I really like how he's standing up to Trump really well. And we need someone that can stand up to MAGA, right? And Gavin Newsom is showing that. So overall, yeah, I think that he's decent, but he could be a bit more progressive. Now the next, yeah, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
Yeah. So the next candidate is AOC.
AOC, I feel like she would be a strong candidate. I think that she's a strong candidate. She has a strong voice. I don't know if she would be a great presidential candidate at this moment, but she's a strong candidate.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say about AOC, if she could, I really like her as a person and I like her morals. I feel like if she could moderate a bit on a few things, maybe move to the right on a few things, but that'd be pretty good. But overall, it's good that she's like a progressive, and overall, yeah, I think she could be a strong candidate as well.
Yeah.
And then the next candidate is Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, I believe that she would be an extravagant presidential nominee for the Democratic Party. I think that she won the election the last time, but I think that she got who she needed to be. I think that she got around who she needed to be. I think that she had a great vice presidential pick. I think that she would be someone who could definitely move the Democratic Party forward. I think that she also just needs to kind of be more herself this next time that she runs, if she does decide to run, and be a little more personable, you know, with the community and with people. And I think that will allow people to move away from what's kind of streamlined with Donald Trump.
For sure. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on Kamala Harris. So I voted for her in 2024, but for me, it was almost fully like a vote against Donald Trump. I don't see like a strong leader, especially on a world stage with Kamala Harris. I couldn't see her standing up to Putin or like some of these really tough leaders. And I feel like she'd be okay, definitely a lot better than Trump, but I don't think she's like the strongest candidate. I actually hope that she doesn't run in 2028 for president, because I feel there's stronger candidates out there. But I wish she had won. She would have been a lot better than Trump. But and like you were saying, she didn't have the chance to distance herself from Biden. I think that was the biggest problem, because she's his VP, so she didn't get that chance. It's a little unfortunate, but yeah, I think, and also electability. I think I personally think if she was the nominee, she would lose to like JD Vance. So at the end of the day, we want someone that can win. So I feel like I think we should move on from her. But I'm grateful for what she's done as VP. She made history as the first woman VP. She's a half Black, half Indian, so connects to both of us, right? And I think that's really cool. She's the first Indian VP. That's historic in itself. The next candidate is Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky.
Yep, I know who he is. I don't think he would be a good candidate at all.
Okay. Oh, why is that?
I just from his viewpoints of what he knows Kentucky viewpoints. He doesn't know worldly viewpoints.
For sure. Yeah, that's a limitation for sure. But I will say one good thing about Andy Beshear is in a deep red state, he won by a lot in his first time running and re-election. So that means he can be an electable candidate. Like, he can work across the aisle, right? And I think Andy Beshear, I think he's like a dark horse. I think he's someone that could be like someone that can really connect. The only problem with him, he's not very charismatic. Like Gavin Newsom, super charismatic, right? But Andy Bashir is kind of like monotone. If he can become more charismatic, then I think he could potentially win, right? So we'll see about him. And the last guy I wanted to ask you about is Pete Buttigieg. What are your thoughts on him?
I don't know about Pete. I'm not too aware of Pete as far as like what he does specifically as far as things and policies, his mindset, but I'm not too sure about him actually.
Yeah, I think the problem with Pete, he has some decent views. He's not like a bad guy.
Yeah.
He talks like a political consultant. Like when you hear him talk, it's like you can tell he's like a typical politician. He talks a lot like, Chat GBT is talking to you. Like talk like a person, right? Person to person. He's a very smart guy, right? You worked at McKinsey, but it just seems like he's not that. He's just like a traditional politician. We want someone that can talk to the people and that can appeal one-on-one. The way that Obama speaks. He was also a Harvard graduate. He was educated, but when you talk to him, you can tell like that human interaction is there. With Pete Buttigieg, this seems like it's a political consultant talking. And another problem with Pete Buttigieg, he has 0% black vote in like a poll. Let me tell you something. The Democratic Party, the backbone of the Democratic Party, as you and I know, are black people, especially black women. So if you're going to get 0% in the poll for among the black vote, you're not going to win. Like, yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I think that he would have to be more diverse in his community. I think that when we're talking about all of these representatives of people who can actually make this next Democratic candidate, right?
Yeah.
The primary.
Yeah.
We at the end of the day, we have to look at the most charismatic, most pretentious. As when I mean pretentious, I mean they aren't indecisive. They are knowing what they're going for, no matter who's supporting or who's not. They need to make sure that they have the most willful and direct voice that needs to be heard as a candidate. Someone that is going to obliterate anything versus that is not for like humanitarianism, who's not for the people of the country,
right?
And not trying to just do for what they're trying to do, just trying to be a better person for the entire country. That's what we need. That's the first person we support.
100%. So let me give you my rankings and I'll ask for yours. So if I had to rank these five in terms of who I like the most and least for the intention of, becoming defeating potentially JD Vance and becoming the next nominee. If I had to if there was ranked choice voting and I had to do these five, it would probably be something like this at this time. Number 1, Gavin Newsom. Number 2, Andy Bashir. Number 3, AOC. Number 4, Kamala Harris. Number 5, Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
If I had to do those five, I think Gavin Newsom or Andy Bashir, they have a good chance of winning. Gavin Newsom if he just cleans up the homelessness problem and the unemployment problem in California a bit, and that he continues to run on this resist Trump agenda, I think that he has a very good chance of winning. And Andy Bashir, he's like a dark horse candidate. If he can, start to connect to people and speak, then he could win too. But I think Gavin Newsom has the best shot at this time. But yeah, give me your top 5. Give me your ranking.
Well, see, when you're talking about, for example, okay, I'm gonna give you my ranking, then I'll go back to what you just said.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm gonna go Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, AOC, Andy Bashir, and then Pete. This is what I'm gonna say to you about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, yes, there's a high percentage in homelessness, and yes, there's a high percentage in unemployment, but California represents majority of the country's population.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's going to be more. That's just like the whole thing with the understanding of what per capita is.
Right.
Like, do you understand the basis of what per capita comes from?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So it's kind of like those are structures built to make something look worse than what it is.
Right.
That's why I kind of look at it like, okay, yeah, there's portions of homelessness in California, but it's the most expensive state to live in, man. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people know this. So um a lot of people go out there and they fall off. It's a hard life, man. And yes, we want people to do good, but there's certain people that put themselves in situations where they can't do good, you
Right.
know? So
That's
everything is not going to be peachy and creamy, but
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I think that Gavin Newsom would be a good candidate behind Kamala.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I also I really like how Gavin Newsom, he has proven himself time and time again electorally. So Gavin Newsom was a mayor of San Francisco. Then he became the lieutenant governor of California, then the governor of California, and then potentially the president. Whereas you have Pete Buttigieg, I think he was a mayor of South Bend, Indiana, not even Indianapolis, Indiana. And no, and to the audience, no, this is no homophobia here. I have
yeah,
no problem with him being gay, but it's just the fact I just don't think he's a strong candidate. And I think
yeah,
honestly, Pete had a chance to run for Senate. There's a vacant Senate seat. Gary Peters is not going to be running again in
right,
6. Pete should have run for that, and I think he probably would have won. But he
yeah,
wants to go directly to president, and it's like, dude, you have to be a little more humble. Like you don't just
yeah,
a mayor of South Bend. It's not even like Indianapolis. It's just like a small town. You
right.
know, it's like being the mayor of Canton, right? It's not even like Detroit or anything. It's like being the mayor of Canton.
Yeah, being the mayor of Canton and saying I want to be the president of the United States
Yeah,
the next
I didn't
time.
even know what South Bend was until Pete Buttigieg ran for office. So you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like he needs to. I think if he runs for Senate, becomes senator, then maybe he could become president one day. He's definitely not ready at this time.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, Chris, have you considered running for political office one day?
Uh, possibility.
Okay.
There's a possibility. It depends what and where I am in life, but I would definitely run for a city council or eventually try to run for a mayoral race if I had the support, if it was needed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for me, I think I'm definitely considering for political office. Like at this point, it's like a 90% chance. And I think this podcast will also help out with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, city council, mayor, maybe state rep,
right.
something like that. Yeah, I think right now I do the corporate, 9 to 5, but then, after that, like on the side, I'm doing like this like political stuff. And who knows if I run in an election in the next few years and I win somehow, and I have support behind me, then maybe I'll leave my corporate job and then just do that. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just stick with corporate. But yeah, this is what I'm
Yeah,
passionate about for sure. So it's really
yeah, bro.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
and and that's good. That's good to be passionate about these things because these are certain things that a lot of people don't talk about that need to be talked about.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that is it, Chris. That's it from me. Do you have any other
yeah.
questions or no?
No, man. Just wanted to congratulate you on what you're doing with, and hopefully, as you continue to do this, get more people on here with more I would say divisive arguments that we could actually have conversations on to that
Yeah,
side
yeah,
to
yeah. Sure,
get a
sure.
different perspective for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Sure. Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for your
yeah,
time.
man. Appreciate you, man.